Welcome to the Dan McShane Show here on WBCB as we talk to the head coach of the Pennsbury Falcons, Dan McShane. Coach, tough loss as you guys fall to Academy Park 28-21. Talk a little bit about the fight you saw in your players. Seemed like they were going strong throughout the game.
Yeah, that was a real positive thing, and we competed hard, young kids. But around Pennsbury, we just can't, the moral victories just don't count, So it's we got some places to build on, and a foundation of it all starts with hard work, but we got to play smarter and obviously got to tackle better based on the one play where they broke 8 tackles. But
a more disappointing loss because you guys were out in front at points in this game. I mean, it looked pretty good in the first half until the last few minutes, and had a lead in the second half as well, but just couldn't hold them off.
Yeah, I mean, you got to finish. 14-0, and we kind of let them off the hook on the one series where they completed a ball where they broke a bunch of tackles also, and then there was a sequence at the end of the half that we kind of probably mismanaged a little bit, and but then we come out and then they start. I guess to start the third quarter, they hit that long play where it was like 8 tackles missed, but we answered back. We responded to adversity and took the lead, and there was one point where they backed us up real deep, and we even came out from there, but then we stalled. We had a couple key penalties that kind of hurt us too. So
we're going to talk about the offense, the defense, the special teams in last week's game, and get you set for tonight's game against the Penwood Patriots, a team that Pennsbury beat last season 41-28. But big plays really played a role in that game. Academy Park fumbled the ball out of the end zone one play. There were a number of turnovers, 3 interceptions, and some of those catches that they made in the secondary were pretty amazing, I thought. But what can you say about just your team kind of giving up some big plays? I think it looked like you guys were in command, but then they had, as you said, a play where they broke 8 tackles, and how do you correct that?
We go back to tackling all week long. So, but otherwise, we talk about competing for the ball when it's in the air too. And we had some good, at times we were in good position to make the play on the ball when it was in the air, but we just kind of, it's kind of you got to have a lot of 1-2 on that play, and we're going to work on that.
Well, Coach, as you practice tackling, as you get to it this week, we had another blazing hot week to get set for Friday night's game. Everybody in the same boat all throughout the region, but a bit of a struggle. Talk about how you guys have been working through the heat this week, even having a shortened day today. We're taping this on Thursday,
right,
and Pennsbury closed school at, I think, 1 o'clock today due to the heat. What did that do to you guys as far as your regimen?
Well, we had great communication from the administration on down on what the situation would be, and we just adapted, and we taught kids all the time, things aren't always going to go your way, but it's how you respond to it. And so we came up with a plan, and from our like I said, administration on down, and our athletic trainer was going out kind of reviewing the situation out there, and we determined that one day we were in the gym, and last night we had a beautiful evening out at 6 o'clock practice, which was perfect. So we got our work in, and we're going to get some more in today.
Well, we missed you guys for the Coaches Roundtable show. I know we'll see you over at Sandy's Beef and Ale throughout the rest of the season. Pennsbury, Neshaminy, all the high school programs getting together to talk about last week's game. And before we wrap up a discussion about last week's game, what did you say to your team after the game was over?
Real simple. I think they were in position to make plays, but we got to make the play. That's kind of somewhat of an intangible thing, and we drill certain aspects of that, but at some point you just got to make the play.
What about after looking at some video? Was there a different message, or was it consistent both right after the game and then after you guys were able to look a little bit closer about what was happening on Friday night?
Yeah, the big eye in the sky doesn't lie, and but you look at it and you go, okay, it's one thing and again, Academy Park's a dangerous football team. They're well coached. I think the conclusion was it's one thing if somebody beats you, it's another thing if you beat yourself, and so. We talked about that, and of course now, leading into this week, we said don't let last week beat you this week. So that's where we're at right now.
And what buttons are you pressing, Coach, this week? Are you trying to pump up the team, build their confidence, or is it a little tough love?
You know what? I'll say this. Everywhere I've been, especially here at Pennsbury, there's never had to pump up kids. They're going to come out and play football. So it's just a matter of some strategical things and some technique type of things, and we think we can kind of whittle it down and make more progress this week.
Well, as we drill down a little bit further, what kind of strategic things are anything you can reveal here on the Dan McShane Coaches Show that you guys may?
Well, it's a very similar type of team, and the quarterback is probably not as dynamic, but he's a big, strong kid. He looks like Roethlisberger back there, shrugging guys off, and so we talked about getting in his feet, getting him on the ground. He's not an explosive scrambler, but he'll find some space and he'll throw the ball 70 yards down the field. So we talked from a strategic standpoint on the defense anyway, is you can never be deep enough. You got to be deep, and you got to.
The ARIA 3B Orthopedic Institute is redefining care in Center City and South Jersey. And our 50,000 square foot location on ARIA Health's Bucks campus in Langhorne features private rooms, free parking, and nearby hotels. With over a century of experience, the world-class 3Bs, Doctors Booth, Bartolozzi, Balderston, and their partners personally guide you from treatment through recovery. For all your orthopedic needs, call 1-888-ORTHO-3B or visit aria3bortho.org. At the ARIA 3B Orthopedic Institute, you come first.
If you are looking for a car, where do you go? Faulkner Auto Group at 4427 Street Road in Trevose is where to go for the best deals in Bucks County for all your new pre-owned cars, trucks, or SUVs. Go to Faulkner Auto Group. It's always Faulkner, to be sure. Go online to faulknerautogroup.com. Just remember, it's Faulkner, to be sure, for all your new cars or trucks. 4427 Street Road in Trevose. Faulkner, to be sure.
Hi, Merrill Reese to tell you about our good friends at the Revere Ristorante Italiano in nearby Ewing Township at 802 River Road. I can tell you that from South Philadelphia to New York's Mulberry Street, there's no better Italian cuisine than that served at the Revere. Start your meal with one of their great appetizers or salads. Entrees include outstanding veal dishes, fresh seafood daily, excellent steaks and chops, homemade pasta dishes, daily specials, and much more. You can also enjoy their bar area, where on most weekends, entertainment is offered. The Revere also does off-premise catering, and you can accommodate private parties for any affair, including business functions. Call the Revere Ristorante Italiano for more information and reservations at 609-882-6365. 882-6365. The Revere Ristorante Italiano, open Monday through Friday for lunch and 7 days for dinner at 802 River Road, right off the Wilbertha Road exit on Route 29 in nearby Ewing Township.
Don't forget, if you miss any of your local high school sports action, you can read all about it in tomorrow's edition of the Trentonian. For your complete local and national news 7 days a week, it's the Trentonian, or online at thetrentonian.com. The only newspaper serving Bucks, Burlington, and Mercer County 7 days a week, it's the Trentonian.
Welcome back to the Dan McShane Coaches Show as we sit in with head coach Dan McShane getting you set for Pennsbury football tonight on WBCB. Coach, last week, actually a couple of weeks ago after the Woods scrimmage, I said, who's this Eddie guy who's out there for Pennsbury? You said, oh man, he's an exciting young player, and he ended up really getting into the mix for you guys. Of course, Javon McNeil, Brad Mickles getting the start as your primary running backs, but Eddie Dualo, 70 yards and a touchdown. He opened some eyes maybe on the sideline?
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen Eddie progress every week, and he's got a real knack. I mean, maybe he's like a Sproles type of effect. You can't find him behind some of our offensive linemen. So, but he kind of is patient. He's an intelligent runner. I tell him, obviously ball security is huge. He seems that that's number one thing we value. And so, we're really excited, and we think that Javon and Brad are going to get going, and so it's a nice kind of battery to go to.
I mean, one guy who stands out, isn't going to get lost behind the line of scrimmage, is Josh Boyda. Had 2 touchdown scores for you guys, and was targeted in the back of the end zone, almost had a touchdown catch there. But a big weapon, it seems like, in short yardage packages. He's going to be coming in for you to maybe get that hard yard, or in a goal line situation, he'll be there lined up at fullback.
As they say, if I tell you, I got to kill you, right? No, he's our Swiss Army knife type of player. He's very versatile.
I'm sworn to secrecy, by the way. So,
yeah. But he's got a lot of talents. He can throw, he can run, he can block. So it's nice to have two quarterbacks on the field at the same time, it gives you a lot of different options. And so, we're expanding a package for him.
Sean Miles with 4 receptions, 36 yards gained, and Jason Cook got a couple of catches for 41 yards. Still looking to get some more guys in the mix. I know last year there were quite a few guys who caught passes, and I know you have quite a number of guys in formation, but it seems like there's some chemistry between Henser and Miles and Cook. They kind of have more experience maybe than some of the other guys?
Yeah, well, Cook, he's very, again, he's been a 2.5-year kind of starter for us, and so he's kind of really got acclimated to the pass offense. He understands time and space. Miles is a big target, and you're looking for. They say sometimes it doesn't come down to plays; it comes down to players. And I think Andrew likes to have a big target to throw to. And then the other big target is our tight end Hammaker, where we think that it's another big body to find somewhere down in the secondary. So and then and Chipper's a real steady kid on the outside and just kind of finds. Same thing, time and space, and we think we're the ball. And our receivers are taught the ball can go anywhere on any particular play. You better run your route. So
last Friday night, did you have Hammaker in tight a little bit more to provide some protection, or was there something that Academy Park was doing that didn't allow him to get targeted for a pass?
No, it was nothing. It was just we felt like there's times we wanted to max protect a little bit, so we kept him in. There was times we wanted to get him involved in the run blocking, so we kept him in. But he's a really versatile kid. He can block. He can get out in routes. Again, big target. So he's got another year in the program also.
Turnovers are killers. You guys did recover a fumble, which was big in that game, but 3 interceptions from Drew Henser.
Right.
Anything that you see when you look at the game video that maybe you could do differently to put him in better situations, or is it something that he was unable to identify, something that he should have saw? I mean, each interception kind of is a different situation unto itself, but in a whole, turnovers were a big part of that game.
Yeah, well, Drew likes to make plays, and it's the Brett Favre rule. You're gonna try to jam the ball in there sometimes, and it's going to look great, and sometimes it's going to look ugly, and in the end, you end up leading the NFL for a lot of years. And so we feel great about his confidence. We said earlier, if it does, if you don't believe it, nobody else will, and so. He's just got to be a little more patient and then kind of go through his read progression. I mean, we ask him to do a lot. There's a ton of pressure on him. And we got to talking about the end series, asking a first-time starter, 10th grade, to go down the field in 1:50, and of course there was a pick at the back end of that, So, but he'll make those drives eventually.
I mean, is he kind of a reflection of the team as far as they're also kind of inexperienced in that way?
Yeah, it's a good way of putting it. I mean, it's just get guys out there first time, and as I said, we just can't. No matter what age, at Pennsbury, we're not asked to. We're not going to provide birth certificates. We just go out and provide, good quality football and win football games. And we know there's no moral victories, and we win or lose. It's
Well, Coach Josh Boyda was our DiLorenzo's offensive player of the game for the 2 touchdown rushes that he had in that game. Again, Pennsbury coming up just short against Academy Park, but we're getting set for Penwood. We'll quickly talk about the defense here. Sam Burke, what a game he had. 13 tackles, 4 tackles for a loss, and a sack where he dropped the quarterback way back. But then after that play, he kind of came off the field. You guys like to rotate some different guys in there and have some fresh bodies. Big element of quickness on your defense.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably a sub package where we felt like they might have been a little faster on the field, so we wanted to sub out and bring some DBs in the game. And I love Sam, but the first thing I see is, Sam, you miss X amount of tackles. And imagine if you had landed those 6 tackles. And so he would have had a career game. But he's a real fiery guy. He's a inspirational leader on the defense. He gets guys going. He's intelligent, and we're excited to have him this year, and then I'll get him next year too.
Tayon Sherrod, your cornerback, was our defensive player of the game, and my color analyst, Brendan Garrett, was really impressed with his tackling on the outside. What did you see from Sherrod? I mean, he made some big individual tackles, which really helped make kind of mitigate some big plays into being bigger plays.
Yeah, we had said it's not good, guys, when your cornerback's your best tackler on the field, but it is good, And he also competed down the field. I mean, there was a couple of vertical shots where he matched up pretty good with their defensive back, and I mean, I saw a lot worse I think a PI called on him, where I've seen a lot worse things not called. So, it was just unfortunate, but he's up to the challenge. And just yesterday he had a great practice, broke up a number of balls, and we talked to our guys about, our cornerback can't be our best tackler.
Well, even on that pass interference, it seemed like he had great position on the receiver, just wasn't able to get his head turned around to make the play. But as you said, seen worse. Not get a flag, but he got the flag on that one.
Yeah.
But a great game by Sherrod. Defensively, you mentioned the tackling, and you guys had the lead. What are you emphasizing this week? Wrap up. That's kind of go back to the basics.
Yeah, it's funny. They're a little bit the inverse of Academy Park, where Academy Park was kind of like run first, pass second. I think we did a good job with the quarterback scrambling. That was a major goal of ours. But these guys are a little more kind of like, they'll run it, but they want to throw the ball. And the quarterback's a big, strong arm kid. He's going to, he'll flick his wrist and the ball will sail 60 yards. So we talk about emphasize again. Continue to get depth. Depth is your best friend, and if it's not, then you're going to experience death.
Right.
So,
we'll talk quickly about the special
death.
teams when we come back, and we'll talk more about the Penwood Patriots and hopefully avoiding football death here tonight as the Pennsbury Falcons get set to do battle with the Penwood Patriots. We got the game coming your way here on WBCB. We'll continue here with the Dan McShane Coaches Show right after this.
The Gator, Jerry Blavitt here, to tell you to tune us in every weekday afternoon from 3 to 5 p.m. right here at WBCB 1490 AM and throughout the world at WBCB1490.com. And it's brought to you by the Italian People Bakery and the deli at 63 Butler Street in the Chambersburg section of Trenton, and also in Levittown at Woodburn and Oxford Valley Roads, and where all baking is done on the premises at both stores.
Peruzzi Nissan is the home of the 3495 Pennsylvania State Inspection and Admission, and is your full-service automotive facility for all makes and models, regardless of where you purchased your car. Air conditioner and tune-up for just $79.95 at Peruzzi Nissan. Buy 3 tires at Peruzzi Nissan and get the 4th one free, plus free alignment checks. Have your car looking showroom new with a value detail package for just $64.95 and a full detail package for only $179.95. Peruzzi Nissan Service, Business Route 1, Fairless Hills, where our business is you.
Achieving what you want demands the right game plan. When you team up with PNC, you get the tools and know-how you need to get where you want to go. Whether it's buying a new home, sending your kids off to college, or retiring the way you want, PNC is here ready to help you achieve your financial goals. To discover all the ways PNC can help, stop by any branch or visit PNC.com. PNC for the achiever in you. PNC Bank, member FDIC. Hi, this is Merrill Reese, and since 1986, McCaffrey Supermarket has been a real supermarket experience and a very proud member of our community. Through good times and bad times, Jim McCaffrey and his family have been there to assist our neighbors when they needed help, whether it's helping flood victims, raising funds for the American Cancer Society, or supporting the local Little League teams. You can count on McCaffrey's to be there. McCaffrey Supermarkets, 635 Heacock Road in Yardley in the village of Newtown, at 2890 South Eagle Road, and also in Princeton and West Windsor.
Welcome back to the Dan McShane Coaches Show as we get set for Pennsbury football tonight on WBCB. Coach McShane, special teams, the third part of any football game. Your kicker, Brady Bergfechtel, and your special teams. We talked about this in our Pennsbury preview show when we got together last week for the Dan McShane Show. You had some question marks when it came to your special teams play, especially as far as your kickers are concerned. Looked like you got some pretty good play from your place kicker. He went 3 for 3 in point after attempts.
Yeah, that's really exciting. I mean, he's a skinny little kid. He's got to get a lot more peanut butter and jellies in him and chocolate milks, but he's really committed. He plays soccer also, but he's done got a lot of specialized training. His leg is getting stronger. His technique is excellent, and special teams is kind of hard to simulate early in the season, especially coverage and kicks and punts. But just from a pure snap, hold, kick thing, we felt real good about that. And even the punting game, the snappers was excellent, and the kicks were where we needed them to be.
Were you wanting your punter to maybe angle that kick more towards the sideline in some situations and avoid some dangerous return guys there?
Yeah, we had definitely coached up. And our number one issue is they were probably coming for the punt hard, so we went to protect first, and they loaded up the front, and we were committed to protection, and then of course then it's hard to get out and cover, and we talked to the punter about let's kick the ball to the numbers. He was a hair short of that, but we didn't do a good job of covering it. I was tempted at one point, it crossed my mind, I'd just tell him to kick it out of bounds, the Tom Coughlin style years ago,
Yeah.
when who ran that back, LaShawn McCoy. And when we went and chased his punter down, but he's a sophomore, so directional punting is a challenge right now. And we worked on it all week long, and let's not put the ball right in his hands. But again, there's a lot of phases between the coach making that decision and and the kick and the coverage. A lot of us dropped the ball.
I mean, as you're in the midst of things coming to the end of that second half, were you thinking about you guys were getting the football to start the second half of play?
Thought about that, yeah, for sure. We thought about that we could, get a drive going again. And despite the penalty, I think we started off with a big completion. There was another hold, and I went and burned some timeouts, thinking we're still going to score. And then I think we got short. Maybe we were able to fit the down distance. We were maybe 4th and 5 or something like that. And then it was punt, and then what hit the fan.
Yeah. Well, it was a heck of a return. What did you see on the video in the coverage? Kind of a breakdown as far as maintaining their lanes? Or?
Well, there was no breakdown as far as their effort. I mean, the kids were, I say, you're trying too hard. We got to play, you got to be smarter about it. And we don't need a 9,000-yard tackle for a loss. We just need the guy on the ground if he gains. So setting better angles. I mean, again, you get guys who are real pumped up and go down there. It's like, listen now, let's slow this thing down, set your angles, and just force him to chop his feet and stop, and then we're good to go. But that never.
Hard to, not to interrupt you, Coach, but difficult to account for that young man's speed. I mean, he.
Oh yeah. I mean, we don't see that. I mean, in our league, it's rare you see that type of all across the field speed. And again, we're going to see it, tonight. So it's a big issue.
Tonight, the Pennsbury Falcons travel to Penwood High School to take on the Patriots. Your first road trip of the season. You look forward to getting on the bus with the kids. I mean, it is an opportunity, again, to kind of build your team, build your brand, and have a little bit more time to mesh and come together.
Yeah, with a young team, but sometimes bus trips are cool. They get a little bonding thing going on there. We might bond a lot because it's Labor Day weekend on a Friday night driving down through Philly. So we could be on that bus for a while. But I grew up in that neighborhood, so I know all the back roads. I'll take them down some alleyways and some cemetery roads. They don't even have any idea they're there.
Well, as you look back to last year, you guys defeated this team 41-28, but a brand new season. This team beat Souderton last week 42-10. Were you able to take a look at that game, and what did you see from the Patriots?
Well, it's a lot of the cue going back and just chucking and ducking. I mean, it's the receivers are real competitive for the ball. Defensively, they fly around similar to Academy Park. There's nobody overly, flashes on the tape, but as a team, they flash.
And you guys going to have more, like dime packages and nickel guys in the secondary who are going to be trying to be in coverage here. I mean, linebackers and other guys.
For sure. I mean, you got to
try to match them up.
Yeah. I mean, you play run defense. I mean, we're an 8-man front run defense football team in our league, and also you're going against teams that are 10 personnel and they're spreading the ball, and you got to make a decision. We got to go out there and cover those guys, So you got to get out of the box and cover them, and then the box becomes lighter, and then you hold up in the box. So it's kind of like obviously the chess match, cover outside and expose inside, cover inside, expose outside.
So a very similar team as you saw last week, and I guess that makes it even more significant to take care of those defensive angles and to wrap up and not miss tackles. You look at that video, you look at the video of that game on Friday, that obviously is one of the things that stuck out for you.
Yeah, we talk to the kids all the time about, again, as I said earlier, you're trying hard. We don't need big hits. We need sound tackles. Big hitters will miss a lot of tackles, but sound tacklers will get sound. They'll put the guy on the ground and they'll get their big hits. So it's a matter of just kind of, again, slowing yourself down and make the simple play.
As we look at Penwood, how about the matchup in the trenches as far as your offensive line matching up against their defensive line? They're going to bring some pressure on Drew.
Yeah, it's
I mean, do they blitz or
they're
kind
active.
of
I'll call them active. Again, similar to Academy Park. So maybe not as active at their second level linebackers, but their front four guys are kind of they're not. There's nobody that's overly massive over there. We got some big boys on the offensive side, and it becomes again, your strength is speed, our strength is strength and size, and it's the still got to block them no matter what.
So as you look at Penwood, you assess their team, what do you think Pennsbury can do to maybe take advantage of some matchups in this game? Maybe going to see Hammaker get out there and get out into a pass pattern?
We always start with running the football first. So believe it or not, we're still ground and pound here, and we feel like we can get some things going inside. We made a couple minor adjustments inside our offensive line, changed some positions around to capitalize. And then again, I think.
Can you quickly tell us a little bit more about some of those changes?
Sure. Well, we just kind of flip-flop guys. We put our big guys at guards and our guards outside, and just trying to get a little more kind of like a push at the point of attack from say the B gap to the B gap.
So you put Schellenberger at tackle and you move Malinowski.
Actually, you know what? Actually, Malinowski went to guard, and that could change real fast in the game. But we feel like between Malinowski at guard, Schellenberger's the other guard. There's two big bodies in there. The center's a big body, and our tackles are more kind of an athletic mode type of kids. So that's kind of the move.
Coach, appreciate your being with us here and spending some time before the game with us at WBCB as we get set for the Pennsbury Falcons and the Penwood Patriots. Appreciate it. You've been listening to the Dan McShane Show. As good luck to you guys tonight, and we'll catch you next week.
Great, thank you.